Welcome to the Just Be a Man podcast. Please note, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Each individual is providing their own independent opinion. Follow, like, subscribe, and comment at Just Be a Man 2020 on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube. Also, expect new content every Wednesday on Spreaker.com or your favorite podcast app.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Just Be a Man. Hey, today we're going to do something a little bit different. We have a guest speaker today, someone who is part of the Just Be a Man crew, also is an author. He's the author of a book called Man Law. We're going to talk about his project shortly, and his name is Charles Castile. So Charles, would you please give a little brief introduction of yourself and the origin of this book?
Absolutely, my brother. First and foremost, I am truly humbled and thankful to you guys for allowing me to be the first guest on Just Be a Man podcast.
Yes, sir.
For our audience, as Wayne mentioned, my name is Charles. I was born in Tampa, Florida, but I grew up in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. I attended Friendly High School in Fort Washington, Maryland. So shout out to the Friendly Patriots. And that's where I met my boy Chuck. He and I became friends at that point in time. Then I spent my freshman year at Morgan State University where I met the rest of these guys. But I left and ended up graduating from Bowie State University with a bachelor's in communications. I worked as an executive for a major telecommunications company for nearly 30 years. And currently, I am married to a beautiful woman, and together we're raising 4 non-bill payers in my house. I also have an older son who lives in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I'm a Christian. I'm a proud member of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I'm a huge DC area sports team fan, and in my spare time, I love to travel and spend as much time as humanly possible on the golf course.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Charles. So, talk to us a little bit about this Man Law. This is a wonderful book that you've put together here. It's been out for a little bit, but how come? Well, we want to make sure that we get a little bit more visibility on this, and so we want to talk about some of these laws that you've mentioned here. But can you just give us a brief overview of the origin of you compiling these notes?
No doubt, no doubt. Well, the Book of Man Law, consists of 155 laws. Now, it's a book that I wrote, but it's really something that wrote itself. It is the official, unofficial, comprehensive rule book for men. And what it does, it provides manhood guidelines and principles ranging from how we greet each other as men, how we interact with women, our attire, grooming, restroom conduct, you name it. And it's written in a very funny and entertaining way to make people laugh while at the same time educating our boys and men on the proper way to conduct themselves, because let's face it, man law violations are on the rise, and I felt strongly that this book needed to be written because of that. I mean, I was literally sitting in a bar in downtown Tampa, Florida, attending a football game, after attending a football game rather, with my father, my brother, and my oldest son. And we were actually celebrating because our favorite football team, Washington, had just beaten the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so we're sitting in this bar, and the subject of man law violations came up, right? And each of us had shared story after story about man law violations that we had all dealt with. And even the bartender was chiming in, and we just laughed and laughed. And it dawned on me that, what, this man law situation is really getting out of control. I mean, it's clear that these previously unwritten laws aren't being passed down like they used to from generation to generation. And, we've talked about some of those reasons on this very podcast, boys being raised by single mothers, boys growing up without positive role models, the rise of punk ass kids, the emasculation of men in our society. So I felt strongly that someone needed to put this information in a book. So I said to myself, hey, why not me?
Okay. All right. Hey, Charles, that's good stuff. Good stuff. So I like what you said that this is a kind of a comedic view on it. So we're gonna have fun with this right here. All right. So we're gonna look at a couple of the laws. As you mentioned, you have 155 laws in this book. And we're gonna touch just a few of them. And at the end, we'll make sure everyone is aware of where they can get a copy of this wonderful work.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Stefan, my friend, everyone knows about man law. Well, most people know about man law. Tell me about what would be your favorite man law that you found out of this book, and if you have a story that supports that.
Well, first of all, thank you for allowing me to participate in this. This book, as I read it and reread it, I really believe that it should be issued at freshman orientation. When kids go to college, freshman orientation, they need to read this. This is like English 101 or Man Law 101. Because, I'm sit and reflect on number 66. When entrusted with another man's secret, take it to your grave. If they happen to dig you up, the proper response will be, I have no idea. That's a word. That's a message. If your man entrusts you with a secret, you need to take that to the grave. And I don't care if you come up like King Tut with dust. You still do not. You have no idea because you have no idea. That's the way it is. So I don't have a personal story. I can reflect on some things, but hey, I'm taking it to the grave and into infinity.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, Steph. Everybody on this phone call is glad to hear that.
Yeah, yeah, yes, indeed.
No doubt.
All right. So thanks, Steph. Hey, Mike, tell me about your man law or a violation that you witnessed.
One of the things that stand out to me was the law about having someone riding with you. Like you guys know, I used to go down after we left Morgan. After I left Morgan, after a few of us left, I used to try to come down every homecoming to support and to see my boys and keep the connection. And 146, riding shotgun, can either be determined by seniority, height, weight. I appreciate that, Charles, the height, weight, or a person who will be most, because if that's the case, I'll probably be in the back seat forever, ever. A person who will be most beneficial to the driver, regardless of who calls shotgun and the owner of the vehicle. So what I would say is that it's very important that 146 that you have that person who's going to be awake. Both of y'all not going to be nodding out after you cross over the yellow line to the oncoming traffic. You know what I mean? So it's very important for 146 that the person that's beside you not only stays awake, but make sure that they got the money for the tolls. You know what I mean? They got the snacks, everything. Whatever we need to have. So that's very important. But there's another thing in there that said, regardless of who calls shotgun. Now I know you gave a definition of shotgun in the back of your book, brother, and you said that shotgun was sitting in front of the passenger seat of the vehicle.
Yes,
Now I
sir.
know that's true, but I know there's also a physical shotgun which that can do physical harm. But the one that I had a problem was with a young lady where she told me she was gonna give me a shotgun, and I proceeded to unbuckle some things, and then she blew smoke in my face, and I wasn't happy about that at all. So I just wanted to mention that to y'all. I had an issue with that, and that's my one man law. I'll move on to the next one after y'all.
Oh my God.
You trying to change the book already, Mike? Hilarious.
We'll look for that in volume 2.
Oh man,
Thank you, brother.
oh man,
Chuck. Chuck, my man.
yeah. Mine was actually it was me. This just happened the other day. So I recently discovered that I guess I'm coming down with allergies. All right, so I've been itching, scratching, and oh man, it's been crazy. So when we went to play golf the other day, I was getting a little itchy, but I couldn't reach it because it's on the middle of my back. So I'm trying to. You see, I'm. So I'm leaning up against the cart and I'm trying to, be discreet about it. And I was like, man, I can't get it, but I don't want to look crazy out here. Plus, I didn't want to get dirty. So Charles was standing right there. I was like, okay.
Well, you know good and damn well I wasn't going to scratch your back.
right. So, I mean, man law kicked in real fast. It was like, man, I would fall down and crack a rib before I say, hey man, can you hey bro, hey, can you come over here and scratch my back? No sir. No sir.
Hilarious.
That's a man law violation all day,
That
bro.
is
So
You need,
that's number
you need to do the bear in the tree routine. Rub up against a tree or something.
man, look.
Next time.
Yeah, I was about to roll around that grass. It was getting serious for a minute. But that's number that's man law number 18, where it says never ask another man to scratch your back. The most he can do in dire circumstances is give you a hard slap.
that is
So
true.
yeah, that
That's
was
true.
me, man. I didn't want to be a man law violator, so
That's
so
funny.
it comes in handy,
Wise decision, my brother. Now I could have punched you. I could have punched you.
right? Right. But then that's a man law violation too. I don't even know that's in the book, but that's a man law violation. You can't be punching me.
In the back. Yeah.
Right.
All right. So listen, I'm looking at man law number 16, and this is a funny one. No crying in public.
Oh
So
yeah.
and just for the listeners to just to be clear, each one of these laws, there's a little bit more information on it. So I'm just reading kind of the topic of it. No crying in public, and there's some reasons why and some exceptions always. So Charles, when no crying in public, you have any examples of that, or do you want to speak to that specifically?
Well, let me read the entire man law, and
All right.
then I'll tell you the sort of origin behind that. Man tears, absolutely no crying in public. The only exceptions include loss of family member or close friend, your dog dies, your team loses on the final play of the championship game, or your team wins the championship after a long, unfair hiatus.
So Wayne was
Now,
doing that to the Eagles. Finally
that's
won a
what I'm saying.
championship.
That's what
So,
I'm saying.
so it was
Exactly.
acceptable for Wayne.
Damn.
So
Finally.
so
I
this
I
so this had to
know
get
Could
for a
not wait
fact,
for you to
I,
stop
so this had to
reading
get
that.
personal. This
bruh,
had to get personal,
Stop!
right?
I could not wait for you to finish reading that so we can get that out of his face. That was the funniest shit ever. I love it.
Bastards.
I know for a fact that Wayne was balling like a little girl after the Eagles won the Super
In
Bowl.
the
I
fetal
know that.
First
position.
of all, first of all,
Curled up with his comfy pillow
let, hey
and,
man,
and comforting comforter.
That's why I had a the other day about the Eagles, on the golf course. Y'all see them Eagles? Oh,
Oh
really?
man,
You finally got a
right.
championship ring.
Out of all that beauty and serenity,
uh,
y'all
so
didn't see those Eagles?
I just want the listeners to hear all this hate. So
Oh, here we go.
That's all right,
NFC
man. I
NFC
can't be
East
mad at you,
hate.
man. You
It's all
won
right.
one. You
Hey man,
finally got it out of your system. That's a good thing.
hey
That's
man,
good. That's good.
Yeah.
go Eagles, go Eagles.
Hey, yeah,
But no, that's funny. But
but
go ahead, Charles.
also, Wayne, it's like, when talking, especially to alpha males, and surprisingly, a lot of females agree with this as well. When you have dudes that start crying over nonsense, it literally makes me crazy. I mean, you just want to shake these dudes sometimes. I mean, what the hell are you crying about? I mean, just think about every single reality show that is on TV these days. Some dude is always crying over some nonsense. So again, man, these laws, man, they're being violated left and right. We got to get this book out, man, so people understand that that's just not acceptable, man. There
That
are
is true.
circumstances that are, but just crying for no damn reason, you grown ass man, nah, no. We can't have that, bro.
All right,
Can't.
hey, all right, all right. Glad we put
I
this.
feel that.
Glad you
I'm
put
with
this
that 100%.
together. Now, Stefan, my man, if you're past your Eagles hate, um, why don't you bring up another law?
Okay. Back in the day, we were all single at one time, and we hung out, especially, our freshman year in college. And we would go to the McKeldin Center, and have a good time and see this fine girl that, we trying to, hook up with. Um, as dudes, we're not supposed to cock block. Oh, heck no. Heck no. So, like, number 49 says, no cock blocking, period. Any such attempt will result in the title Mitch for life. Now, there are two dudes that were at Morgan State University. To this day, if I see them on the yard, I'm going to call them a Mitch, at least under my breath, because I'm too old to be fighting. But I mean, cock blocking out. Men should never cock block. I don't care what you do. If anything, you should be the wingman. You take one for the team. You take his ugly, her ugly friend, and you walk off to the side so my man can get what he needs to get in life. So, anything else you want to talk about, that, Charles?
So he can get.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Mike should be real quiet on this one, right?
Oh,
Because let me
shots
tell
fired.
you, in the 30 plus years that we've all known each other, I can count on 2 fingers the amount of times that any of our 5 have violated one of these man laws. Now, my brother Mike represents one of those time frames.
Damn.
I mean, bro, I'm in the dorm. I'm chilling. It's one of the rare occasions that I actually had a female up in my room, and Mike come knocking on the door. Charles, let me in. Charles, I know you got another one for me. Charles.
That is true.
Oh my God.
That is true, Charles. Listen, I'm gonna take the man law and say I did violate.
Yes,
I was a little inebriated. I hit a couple of trash cans that night and worked my way back to the room. I was bored, and yes, Charles was in there with his Bruce Lee T-shirt on.
You need to apologize right now. That's what you need.
I don't know what kind of underwear he had on that time. That was some crazy shit.
Underwear.
It scared me. Whatever it was, underwear. I don't know if it was a thong, whatever. But anyway, when you answered the door, you hurt my feelings anyway when you answered the door, because you let me know you mean business. So I did a U-turn. But I did violate that law. I want to say, and I'm sorry.
Yes, you
know
did.
what I mean?
And you came down to my room for pancakes because you were mad.
Yeah, I came to the room for pancakes. You know what I mean? But I did violate. That was one of those freshman violations where you learn
hold on.
first time.
That's a man law violation. So wait a minute. You went to Stefan's room for comfort?
Huh?
I said that's a man law violation right there. Stefan said,
Mike likes to eat.
That's a man law violation right there.
No, Steph. Listen. No. Hold on, lip and split. Because what I'm saying is that Stefan. What I'm saying is that Stefan always cooked on Sunday, the pancakes on Sunday. So of course I went down to Vasolis and my pancakes and syrup. But what I'm saying is, as a freshman, being away at school, there's certain etiquette, roommate etiquette. I violated. I told Charles I was sorry. He didn't talk to me for about half a day, but then he came back to me. You came back to me, Charles.
Oh my God.
Hilarious.
Yo, Mike.
Listen, listen, this is what I knew, Charles. My violation of man law was rescinded after he shared some of his hidden pennies with me. He said, "Yo, and here's 10 pennies. Don't do it again." And he held back his man tear.
Wild boy.
Oh my God.
Yo, Chuck, we're gonna come back to Mike in a minute. Mike,
it could have been worse. Could have been worse. I said it could have been worse. You could have just walked under the door on him, but you didn't do that.
Oh no, you didn't.
Sure.
That's for Liberty Joe. You thought I missed the Liberty Joe? Okay, bastard. Now we can move on. Wait.
My bad, Chuckles.
Yo, Chuck, go ahead and talk on your next man law.
Oh man. Let's see. Oh, for those of you who don't know, I'm a retired police officer. Man, I can drop my family off. You know how you do sometimes. You'll drop, somebody off and they'll go into the restaurant and get the table. And, I can drop my family off. They'll go in the restaurant. And if I walk in, the seat that's waiting for me is the one that's facing the door.
Yes, sir.
Because I never. That's a definite. Yeah, I never. Even it doesn't matter where I go, especially out in public. I never sit with my back to the door. I always have to have, see what's going on around me, and that's
in your backs or back.
Back.
Oh, back. I think said plural backs. Okay, my point.
No. That was I lost weight. Remember, so I'm good now.
Okay.
All right, thank you. So that's number 35 in the man law book. It says, when seated with a woman at a restaurant, the man should never have his back facing the door unless the woman is bigger, stronger, and can fight better than you.
That is true.
But yeah, that's just a practice that right. I've been
I do the same thing, Joe. I do the same thing. I've been doing it for years.
There's 2 spots for me, man, especially the movie theater. If you ever want to find me, if you're looking at the seats, I'm all the way at the top, far right, all the way at the top and the back, far left. I got everybody in front of me. I can see the screen just fine, and my back is to the wall. It's
Right.
just that's still, I'm retired, but that's still the cop in me. So yeah, that's it.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
all
I
right.
Yes,
understand.
sir.
Hey, Charles, do you want to talk about that a little bit? Or
Well, I mean, Chuck nailed it, but to take the law even further, you know, the man should be the one to signal the waiter, to call for the check, to be the first to greet newcomers to the table, to shoo unwelcome people away. So, I mean, you got to keep your eyes on that door. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
hey, hey, I thought he was going to hit
The
us. I thought he was going to hit us with the
side-
first to see trouble
Oh
come in.
my God.
I guess that's included. I guess that's
that
included
is
with that.
trouble.
Hey, I'm
Yeah, the
just
side
saying.
shows
I'm
up.
just
That's
saying.
trouble, brother.
Hey, I like
Yeah,
that. I
that's
like that, Charles. So, Mike,
Yeah.
yo, what's your second? What's your next man law, sir?
My second man law in Charles's book is number 116. Do not consume the last of the beer and take the last chicken wing. It is it's one or the other, greedy ass. Well, due to the fact that I'm a greedy ass, there's a method to my madness. So if I'm ever at somebody's house and there's only one beer left and one chicken wing, I'm gonna go in the kitchen. I'm gonna wrap up the chicken wing in a napkin and put it behind the stove, and then I'm gonna take the last beer. If I still got one in my hand, I'm gonna take that, put them at the bottom of your refrigerator in the vegetable bin. So when everybody else is dry and they
why,
thirsty, your boy
Lord.
gonna go make another round, and I'm gonna come back out with a chicken wing and a beer. Everybody know that dude at the end of the party. Everybody hungry, and you come out with the last. They be looking at you like, where the fuck did he get? And then you got random people going in the kitchen looking for stuff that's not even there. But anyway, I
Oh
just
my
hope that
God.
hope nobody heard that because that's one of my secrets. So please don't stop inviting me to your parties. Thank you.
That's funny. That's funny. All right. So hey, we're not. The goal is not here to go through the goal is not to go through the entire book. As we said, there's a lot of different laws here, 155 plus. So we wanted to really touch on a couple of them. We wanted to have fun with it and give Charles an opportunity to speak to his
Mhm.
product. And it's a really a great book, a really fun. It's a quick read. You grab it, you're gonna finish it in one sitting, just because it just moves that quickly. It's really fun. There's two last laws I want to mention. And just want to mention them, and we can speak on it just a little bit. So, first one is law number 87, which is you don't share an umbrella with a man. And the other one is 135, which is you play to win, right? Or if you're not playing to win, don't play. So I wanted to bring these up for a couple of different reasons. So we did this thing, and I'd like for each of you guys to kind of chime into both of these. The first one, not to share an umbrella. I mean, that's kind of straightforward. But the other one, which is to play to win or don't play at all. And so I think as a man, and especially when we went through this whole we went through our other segment where we talked about punk ass kids. Don't just be a participant. Don't just kind of go through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're gonna do
Yes,
something,
sir.
do it, or either do it or don't do it. And that's kind of what this one is saying. And so I think this is really inspirational to the youth. And I'd like for you guys to speak or to chime in on that one first, and then we'll go back to have a little fun with the umbrella thing.
I'll take it.
Stefan,
Go ahead, Steph.
well, go ahead. Yeah, let
Yeah,
Stefan
go ahead,
go,
Steph
and
Love.
then
Well,
Mike,
I
you
tell
can.
you, 135 was written by Charles Castile and etched in stone. You know,
Hell yeah, it was.
because this brother is serious about any sport that he participates in. I mean, he is out there practicing. You know, I actually believe that he violated quarantine. He was out practicing at a range or even on the golf course. Just to be able to whip up on people. Also Charles always keeps the scorecard. Did you notice that he always keeps the
Yeah,
scorecard,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and he reports
No, I still remember.
our numbers, but he didn't report his numbers. So Charles Castillo's out there playing to win, and it by any means necessary. That's
I think he added a. I think he added
Yeah,
a
he
one
added
for
the one in
mine.
front of mine too.
Listen, that's when I found out. As far as that man law is concerned, that's when I found out how serious Charles was about golf. When he was like, Mike, let me see it. Let me see your card. Let me see your card. And I said, here you go. He said, no, that's wrong. And I don't know how he erased that off. I don't know if he licked his finger and put some spit on it and knocked out the number. But he was like, yo, you did that wrong. You higher than what you're supposed to be. And I was like, and I looked at him when he said you higher, you're supposed to be. I was like, Don't go there, brother.
Hey, man, part of being a man is playing to win, brother. You got to play to win.
Listen, this brother's serious about his golf scores. Because when they say take one pencil, Charles always take two. And dare somebody to say something.
Hey, Chuck, play to win. What you think about it?
Oh man, y'all got me dying over here, man. Yeah, look, Stephon hit the nail right on the head. First of all, that's Charles. But let me get. No pun intended. But no, I mean Charles has been competitive as long as I've known him, man. So as soon as I read this, I knew this was him. But just going into everyday life when you're talking about kids, didn't we cover this in another podcast? Talking punk ass kids. Yeah, man.
Yep.
You gotta. This just reminds me so much of that whole participation trophy. Come on, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose, and whoever loses has to learn how to deal with the loss. Go back to the lab, prepare for the next round. That's how you improve. That's how you get better. So play. Yeah, I'm. Look, I agree with this. I mean, that's it.
It's a great law.
It's a
great law, and yeah, it's great. And I think this is really good in giving people an opportunity to strive for success.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So like you said, when you lose, that means you dust yourself off, figure out what you did wrong.
And if it's done right, it's all in fun. Right. And at the end here, it says it's all about bragging rights. It's not for money. It's not for bragging rights. It's hey, I accomplished something. So yeah.
Go ahead, Steph, and I'll go after you. I was gonna say something.
Something I was just reflecting. Probably 7-8 years ago when Charles was in a townhome. Y'all remember we played poker and Charles had some brand new chips? And basically he had brand new chips and we weren't playing for money, but we were playing for chips. And that's the one time Charles got beat in poker. And that brother has not pulled poker chips out since. I just want to pass on.
I have no recollection of that.
I do remember that.
There it comes.
Right. But
that doesn't sound familiar, Charles?
No, it sounds familiar. Yeah, he was so mad about that. He was mad about that night. So mad he just blocked it out of his mind.
That's it.
His subconscious. But as far as that law, I just want to say that make your decision and stick with it. And I think that's what it means to me and a lot of other people. And for those of you, I don't know how crazy y'all are, but for me, if I sign my kid up for something he don't want to play, we gonna go every day and watch everybody practice. The days that they have practice, we gonna be there. If he ain't playing, we gonna be there. And that's how I do it. And guess what? I did that to my son one time. Guess what? My daughter learned the lesson. She never, ever, ever, ever missed a practice or said she didn't want to play something. Once she signed up for it, she sees it through. And that's what it's all about.
There you go. All right. Good stuff, man. Hey, the last one that the other one I brought up, which was about not sharing umbrellas, kind of funny. It's just that Mike and I talked about this the other day, but it's just about hey,
somebody got to get wet, bro. That's the bottom line.
Facts.
This is something that real men simply don't even think about doing.
Listen,
I mean, it's like we don't share beds, we don't share clothes, we don't share umbrellas, we don't share, we don't even share laundry. You can't even launder your clothes with my clothes. Somebody is just gonna have to be short. I'm sorry. That's it. That's just
excuse me.
Real men don't want to see other men's underwear.
Charles,
for all you saggers out there.
Listen. There's rules to this stuff because Charles said, wait a minute. He said that men don't do other men's laundry and all the other stuff. I hate to say it, that we did violate freshman year when we learned how to finagle the washer.
Hell no.
Nobody had no coins.
I didn't violate
you
that.
Did.
No, I did not.
Charles, you threw your socks in. Them same damn socks you wear every day. Them slip and slides. Them slip and slide ones. You was like, yo, could I throw those in your one? I'm like, yo, man. He said, I'm not gonna wash one pair of socks.
I don't care how drunk I was. Ain't no way in hell I put my clothes in with yours. Nah, man.
I said the only way you put your socks in here with my bloomers is for you to actually contribute with some Clorox. You gonna add your own Clorox, and then I'll let you put your socks in here with my bloomers. That's all I can say. I'm gonna leave that alone. But it was hard. It was a hard pill for him to swallow. but he did it. He did
Oh,
it.
so
Hilarious.
y'all are close for real.
Hey man, Chuck, don't believe
Yeah.
that, bro. I'm telling you.
Charles had these socks. Charles had these pair of socks that he would just put on just for the dorm because he wanted, he didn't want to get his feet messed up. So those were the foot socks. I accepted that.
Hey, Wayne,
I accepted that.
Oh
before we
my
come to a
God.
conclusion with this, hey, Charles, give us a couple of your favorite man laws and why.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you. One man law deals with men holding hands. And it's acceptable, perfectly acceptable for men to hold hands, like in prayer, for example.
Okay.
However, I was literally in church and I'm holding hands with this dude that's next to me, and he tries to interlock his fingers with mine.
What?
Bruh, bruh. Dude almost caught eye jammy in church. I'm telling you,
I heard that in a minute. I jammed.
Right,
man.
right.
Bruh. So this
Ah.
is one of the things that actually led to me writing the book. When I was talking to these guys in the bar, I shared that story. And there was another incident that happened in church. I'm sitting in the balcony, literally by myself. There are tons of seats, empty seats everywhere. And this guy that I didn't know had the audacity to walk into my aisle and take the seat right next to me, bruh, right next
Mm.
to me. Now, what I say in the book is that, buffering must be maintained or the empire is doomed. But
Yes.
obviously, this dude didn't know that. He did not understand
Mhm.
man law by any stretch of the imagination to do something like that. And
Yeah.
again, it's like, I mean, these are two incidents that happen in church. And I'm
Right.
like, what the heck are we teaching our
Well, I think,
kids?
yeah, but I think he was just looking for intense fellowship.
Yeah, he was looking for
Oh
something.
my God. Oh yeah. He wanted to lay hands.
Hilarious.
Listen, man. Listen, my thing is that Charles, you look like a knowledgeable brother, so I'm sure that he probably, this your older brother gonna drop some science on me or something, or he gonna drop something
Yeah,
on me.
okay.
Got a special Bible or something.
You crazy with that, Mike. Yeah, but hey, so a good thing is the social distancing now, right? So
Yeah.
now people got to back
Hey,
the
you
hell
got
up.
to,
Oh,
bro.
definitely,
So
definitely.
so that's good. Hey man, I think we had a really good show. I really like what we talked about, and Charles, thank you for sharing this time with us and giving us the opportunity to kind of explore your book a little bit. Can you just give a little bit, any final thoughts that you have, and then if you could also give some information to the audience on where to get your book and how to get your book, and we'll also include information in the podcast
Yeah,
notes.
absolutely. First and foremost, again, guys, I really appreciate the love and giving me this forum to get this information out in reference to the Book of Man Law. It is available where all online books are sold. I'm talking Amazon Books, Goodreads, Kindle Books. Heck, you can even find it at Walmart and Target online. In addition, I definitely welcome your feedback and your comments via Facebook and Instagram. Folks are hitting me up all the time, asking me questions about the book, asking me about different scenarios. So at some point in time, I plan on publishing volume 2 to the book as well. But right now, the Book of Man Law, volume 1, again, is available everywhere online books are sold. Again, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Uh, All right. So hey, well, hey, this was our first interview, guys. We hope we tried a little bit different format here, so we hope it worked for you guys. Hope you guys got something out of this, or at least some entertainment from Mike. Anyway, we want to go to a segment that we call "Drop the Mic." We haven't done it in a little while, but we'd like to do it today. Just for perspective, we do this show. We pre-record this show, so by the time you hear this, sometimes our information may be a little bit stale if we're addressing current events. But today is May the 28th, 2020. So just keep that in mind when you're hearing this podcast. All right. So drop the mic. I would like Stefan, please go first with your
Hey,
drop the mic.
thank you, Wayne, for the opportunity to drop the mic. Um, as I reflect on the quarantine and, the sadness and the depression that comes with it, Laughter is sometimes the best medicine. Yesterday we had an opportunity to get together as fellas and play golf, even though we social distance through that, and we got to experience some happiness out on the course as well as laughing. I strongly suggest to our viewers at least once a day find something that makes you laugh. I don't care if it's something on social media. I don't care if you pull out Harlem Nights, the movie, anything with Eddie Murphy or David Chappelle, you're pretty much going to laugh. And or pull out an old Cat Williams DVD. It does wonders to your soul. Today's podcast was a great example of how laughter is, medicine to your soul. So that's my drop to mic. Thanks.
I like that, Steph. I like that. Hey, Mike.
My drop
Dr.
the mic
Mike.
segment is called Frito Lay didn't get back to me. I actually went to the store and picked up some pickle flavored Lay's potato
Oh
chips.
my goodness.
I have to say, I enjoy the flavor and everything, but after a while, I started reaching in the bag, and a lot of them came up burnt, and I was kind of disgruntled. I say, hey, I could deal 1 to 2, but now I counted 7.5 chips, or that are burnt. So I had a problem with that. So I turned the bag over and I called them up and I said, hey man, I got a bag full of burnt chips. And they said, your name, sir? And I told my name and everything. And they said, well, what can we do? I said, well, I'm a little disgruntled. I'm kind of upset and distraught. And I wasn't feeling good about myself. Can you send me a whole box? So I will be getting a whole box next week. Thank you. Drop the mic.
Okay. Chuck. Yeah, what's your drop to mic, man?
Yeah, man. I mean, we're all in quarantine. Government shut everything down. Governors haven't opened up a lot of things. People are struggling. People are hurting. Why are bill collectors still calling? I, I don't get. What can you possibly
They
collect
need
right
work
now?
too.
I get it. I mean, God bless them. They're working and they're probably just going through the motions. But why y'all calling? What can you do right now? So just stop it. Just use common sense. Now, I'm not saying they're calling me. Okay, yeah, they're calling me. They're calling
Wink,
me.
wink.
But look, that's my drop the bike, man. Look, bill collectors. You get it when I get it. All right, drop the bike.
Hilarious.
Hey, bill
All right,
collectors need love too.
Hey, Charles.
Uh,
Hey, Charles.
yeah,
Go
the
ahead.
other day I stumbled upon an old picture taken back in 1985 in Doswell, Virginia at King's Dominion. Now, it was me, it was my boy Chuck, and it was about 8 other kids from Friendly High School, and we all lived in different neighborhoods.
Yep.
Let me tell you, the strategery, now I know that's not a word officially, but the strategery that went into taking that dope pick back in 1985 was absolutely incredible.
Oh
I'm
yes, sir.
talking about all these kids were 2 hours away from home
Mm-hmm.
at King's Dominion. We
Mm-hmm.
met up at the exact same place at the exact same time to take this picture. Now, let me tell you, this would not happen today. We
Nope.
didn't have GPS. Hell, some of us didn't even have call waiting. All we had was our mother's home phone. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have GPS. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have email. We didn't have any of that. So for all of us to coordinate that effort to get there at the exact same time to take that dope picture was absolutely incredible. Let me tell you, that would not happen today.
Nope.
Take away these kids' gadgets, take away their internet, take away their cell phones, they will be lost and up the creek without a paddle.
Mm-hmm.
Old school,
Facts.
baby. Mic drop.
Old
Boom.
school still the best school.
All right, Charles.
And,
Yeah, old
in
school.
other
There you
words,
go.
they wouldn't even know how to get to King's Dominion if you think about it.
Yeah, right. Right.
That's true.
Just go
That's
south.
true. Because Charles loved him some Kings Dominion. That's one thing I forgot about Charles. He used to love. He used to talk up Kings Dominion all
Yes,
the time.
sir.
All right, so people, I'm about to do my drop the mic, and again, I wanted to say today's date is May the 28th, 2020, and I want to go a little bit more serious. I've said it before. I just want everyone to be a part of this election process. So everyone, make sure you register to vote, and that you get out there and try to make a difference. Um, what I really wanted to say is, at this time that we're in today, is it's really tough. Something that's been troubling me over the last day or so is this whole situation with George Floyd. So I want to take a little different take on it. It's because I don't want to make this a black and white thing, because I think it's a little bit different than that. I think it's a police versus civilian, and there's just so much that was wrong there. There's just so much that was wrong that's really just harmful to the society. And the saddest thing I can say is that George Floyd is just the most current victim of this. There's going to be somebody else. There's just going to be. And what's happening is we're having these we're protesting, and people are burning down stuff in Minnesota and wilding out. But next month we're going to be having the same conversation. And so I think that there's really something that has to be done society wise. And the police officer's job, law enforcement's job, is to protect and serve. And the thing that was really troubling, and the thing that I can't get out of my mind, is that this dude had his knee on his neck and his hand in his pocket. That's just I
Added weight.
couldn't. I
That's
just
added weight.
couldn't. He
He
was
was
too
relaxed.
comfortable. He was way too comfortable. And what's really crazy about that is this is what we know about because of what Charles just mentioned about this not social media, excuse me, technology. Because there are 10 camera phones on everything. How many of these things happen that no one ever hears about? How many people have over the years have just disappeared and died of on their way to jail? So I just want to say, I don't know what the answer is. I unfortunately I don't have an answer, but people have to look at this. All people have to look at this and say, this is just isn't right. It's just not it. How do you get a person who is supposed to protect and serve? And I'm guessing not just this man from the other day, not just this officer from the other day, but all of them, they probably haven't killed before. How was it so easy for them to kill? That's crazy to me. So anyway, that's my drop the mic. I just want people to be safe out there and to think about what they're doing. And we're all in this thing together. So let's try to live together. Mic drop.
Absolutely fantastic and well said. Appreciate
Yep,
that.
yep, very well said. Yep.
Well said, bro. Well
Yep.
said.
Appreciate you, fellas. So hey, we finished up another good show. We had a lot of fun. There's a lot of energy, a lot of good stuff. Please join us in the future, and definitely go out there and get Charles's book. Until next time, peace and blessings.
Deuces.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Just Be a Man podcast. Be sure to check us out on social media at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube, where you can follow, like, subscribe, and comment at Just Be a Man 2020. We will love to receive your feedback. Also, if there is a topic you would like us to discuss, please leave your suggestion in the comments. Remember to tune in next Wednesday for more meaningful discussion. Until then, we wish you peace and blessings.